Hey, you guys, and welcome. Today I'm going to talk about this whole Natasha and MRB thing that's been going back and forth. Really, not even back and forth. I mean, I guess they've always had a history. But Natasha is really at it recently, doing lives after lives after lives on MRB and, streaming her content and once again showing the whole how MRB walks. I mean, in my opinion, Natasha isn't going to do anything that doesn't, get her money. That's just my opinion. She always constantly says that this is her income, which is fine, but except you've been fired over and over and over. And this whole thing that she says she monetized and she hasn't got paid since like November. Yeah, because you got fired. I mean, what other job would you go back to? And then you're fired, but you're going to continue showing up and then be like, but you still need to pay me. Like, it doesn't work that way, Natasha. It's like she constantly thinks that she's entitled to all these things and she's, doesn't have any rules. She doesn't like to follow rules. And, she's been doing this content about MRB and it's the same thing. It's like this whole PI thing that was even talked about like I want to say like 4 or 5 months ago about this whole PI. And she even stated one time that she didn't even care, but now all of a sudden she cares. And now she wants to have a case against MRB and she's going to get an attorney and everybody's going to see where the 20K went and all, yada, yada, yada. But my thing is, it's like, if you're going to want to go to court, why would you go and basically harass and bully the person that you're going to go after, right? So Natasha wants to take MRB to court, right, and say that she contributed to her loss of income, her losing her channels, her losing PayPal, her bank account. I mean, I didn't even know MRB was this powerful. I mean, geez, for Natasha to lose all that. Okay, let's just think about this for a minute. If you weren't doing anything wrong in PayPal would have just said, nope, she's not doing anything wrong. She's going to keep her account, right? If you weren't doing anything shady or anything, bad, then your bank account would want to keep you as a customer, right? So they would look into your account and be like, oh, okay, you're not doing anything wrong, right? They would keep you, right? They wouldn't terminate your channel neither if they didn't see anything wrong, right? But Natasha, you have admitted that your channels have been taken away. You yourself have said that. So she wants to go and say that MRB has taken all this away from her, right? I know, or at least common sense I feel would be like, okay, if I'm going to take someone to court, I'm not going to go daily and harass them. I'm not going to do video after video talking about their looks, talking about every single thing from head to toe about them. I'm not going to stream their videos. I'm just going to let my attorneys handle it. I have other things I can talk about. I would think that an attorney would advise that to their client. I mean, I could be wrong. I'm not an attorney, but I would think that most of them would be like, okay, don't talk about MRB. Let us handle it, right? This is why I believe that once again, Natasha's just trying to talk about this 20K because I want to say maybe there's something going on in the background as far as this 20K, and she wants to make it seem as, oh no, I'm using this 20K, even though she's even said herself, oh, I never said it was for an attorney. Well, yes, you have plenty of times, Natasha. You even said, oh yeah, y'all keep believing I don't have attorneys. And there's video after video of you stating it was going to be for harassment and bullying. And after over a year, nobody has seen nothing, absolutely nothing from this 20K. So, Natasha started to go back into the drama, even though she said she didn't want to do drama. She didn't want to focus on that. She wanted to focus on true crime because that's her true passion. And in my opinion, she went back into drama because she wants the money. Natasha always goes back to money. She needs the money, the money, the money, the money. And so in her eyes, she feels as her income was taken away because it's never Natasha's fault. Nothing could ever be Natasha's fault, right? I mean, not because her channels were taken away. It cannot be Natasha's fault. Her bank account closed. No, it cannot be Natasha's fault. her PayPal, her Venmo, that cannot be nothing can ever be Natasha's fault, right? It has to be everybody else, because Lord knows she cannot take any accountability for anything being taken away from her, right? Because she has to play this poor me victim mentality into her community to make it seem like, well, look, you guys, they take all this away. Everybody keeps harassing me. And just because people speak on you, Natasha, does not mean people are harassing and bullying you. I have a right to speak. I know they wanted to go or they actually went to Twitter and was talking about my channels and all this stuff. And I'm thinking, first of all, I do on many different people of creators that I speak on. I never even talk about people's looks. I don't even cuss on mine. I mean, and if I ever did, I mean, it's not like that's even horrible, but I'm just saying, like, they made it seem, I mean, have y'all seen like the videos that Natasha does on MRB? And I'm not saying that MRB is, innocent in all this, but for one, hiring a PI isn't illegal. Is it morally wrong? Yeah, I personally wouldn't get it on anybody. But didn't Natasha a couple months ago raise $5,000 for PI? Did anybody really ever hear anything about that? No, because in my opinion, I don't think it went to any PI. I think it went right into her pocket to, I'm going to say it, to the casino, because, I believe that she does have a gambling problem, and she always, hides it, that she's not going, which I don't even care what she does with her money. It's just the fact that you raise it for a certain thing, for example, the 20K was for harassment and bullying. Nothing has stopped any of that. Nobody has seen anything from the result of raising the 20K. The $5,000 for this PI, nobody has seen anything from it, right? But how are you going to go do the same thing and then want to go and basically sue this person for something that you did the same? It's like, anybody make that make sense? It's like, it's crazy to me that Natasha always has these set of rules for herself, and like I said, I'm not saying that MRB is innocent in all this. I do believe that a lot of things that MRB has accused Natasha of, I do not believe that Natasha has done even half of what she says. Basically, as far as like sending certain things and getting her house squatted and all that, I don't believe that Natasha did that. But I do honestly believe that Natasha has harassed and bullied MRB. Actually, Natasha's the one who started it with MRB and going after her looks. And Natasha always wants to be left alone into her own community, right? And my thing is, like, she does a video of, so MRB does this crafting and like selling, certain items and stuff like that. And Natasha always wants to be streaming her shows, right? But do you guys remember when Voices would stream? I think Voices, it was called, what was it called? It was, The Price is Wrong, I believe, or something like that. And she would, show the makeup and, it was kind of like, actually, I thought it was kind of funny. I'm not going to lie. And, but then Voices would notice that the sales of Natasha would go up. So I honestly thought Natasha could milk it, but, people were saying, oh, don't stream Natasha, let that go. Don't do this, don't do that. But then you got Natasha streaming MRB. So Natasha wants to say, in one sense, leave me alone. Don't talk about me. Don't basically just leave my community alone. And she didn't want to do drama. But then she goes and streams, I want to say it's like 8 or 9 videos of MRB at this point, showing her videos of her selling items, talking about her from head to toe, the way she walks, what she wears and all that. But then wants to always say she don't want to do drama, or she doesn't, want to entertain this. She can care less about what's going on in this community and yada, yada, yada. I think it's bull. Because she always goes back to drama because drama sells. She has said it herself. Many others have. I mean, it is the truth, right? She wants the money. She knows that nobody in true crime really is. I mean, I have seen some true crime people do make money, but at the same time, Natasha, I'm sure for her requirements kind of high. She wants a lot of money. She don't want just $5, $10 here. She wants a lot. And she does these things now where it's like, oh, get such and such out of jail. Basically, they time out a certain person in her chat, and you got to pay her money to get her out. Even though, like, I mean, it's not even creative. It's like she's running out of ways to get money, and so she's constantly trying to think of new ways to be like, okay, how can I milk my community out of money? So not only do you have to pay for memberships and Patreon and the makeup sales, but you also have to donate to me. It's like she wants to get it from every direction, and for her, it's never enough. It would never be enough for Natasha, and that's my opinion. But the reason I was doing this was because Natasha wants to say that about wanting to take MRB to court, and all this stuff. But, I'm not an attorney, but I would totally advise you to stop talking about her then. Stop talking about MRB. Just stop. If you want to have a case, you cannot talk about her daily. You cannot stream everything and harass her. I mean, I've even seen the people in her chat say some disgusting things as well. And it's like, you're not innocent either. Like, the fact that you guys just sit there and critique this woman from head to toe is just beyond me. And these are grown people. Like, these are people that are mothers and grandmothers and daughters. It's like, how would you feel if somebody was doing that to one of your family members? Like, that's really sad, that we've come into this world that this has become okay to do. Like, you guys can look at all my videos and you will never see me critiquing somebody from head to toe, even talking about people's looks, because I honestly feel like once you do that, you've lost. You just can't. You should be able to just have a discussion about maybe of what they're doing wrong in the community, but to be talking about how people walk, what they wear, how their hair is and their looks and this and that, it's like, that's just really sad. And Natasha is a grandmother. She is a mother. Like, why are people making this okay in this community, in this world, to be okay to be doing that on the daily? And you can't take someone to court that you are basically doing the same thing. Like, you're just giving MRB more evidence if you actually were to ever go to court, I honestly don't think that she is going to, and the only reason I say is because, one, it'll cost a lot of money to do that, but hey, we'll see. Time will tell, right? And I just don't think Natasha's case would be very strong, considering how much she has done. And I'm sure MRB has spreadsheets and videos. I mean, everything of what Natasha has done, and some of the stuff that she has done to MRB is very nasty. It's very ugly. And I'm not saying, like I said, MRB is not innocent in all this, and but the way that Natasha hits low will not help her case at all. And she wants to always like tell people to leave them alone and to leave the community alone, but at the same time, you can't do this kind of content and not expect to be spoken on, because it's like, you're on YouTube, whether you're manipulating or not, but I'm just saying, you're on YouTube, you're on a social media, people are allowed to have an opinion on you, Natasha. Just because you want to go and say, oh no, I don't want them to speak on me, I don't want that you don't make the rules for everybody. Anybody can speak on anybody who is on this platform, or any social media can be spoken on. That's just what it is. You put yourself out there. I mean, it's just what it is. And so it just bubbles my mind that this community really believes that Natasha will have a case against MRB because she got the PI, as Natasha raised $5,000 for a PI. That has no proof that it even exists, right? So, I don't know. I mean, I'm just saying, like, Natasha, you got to stop with this whole, you don't want to do drama, you want to focus on, true crime. But let's be honest, you came over here to the drama because, one, your numbers aren't the same, and you just don't get money. You come over here because you don't really want to ask a true crime community for money. You don't want to be in there and, throwing down and be like, okay, let's raise some money now as you're doing your crime, because it's easier to come into your drama community and do that, because it's a more fun atmosphere. And so that's why you come into this drama. I think that you were out of content as far as the drama goes. So you brought in this whole MRB thing, which is kind of the same thing that people have seen for over a year. It's the same thing. It's like nothing is new, really. I mean, everybody knew about this PI, so long ago. And all of a sudden you're like, oh, now I have a problem. And then it's like you go and, stream all her stuff and dig into everything. But I can only imagine if somebody was to dig up, Dalton's information and all that and talk about that, you would be really ticked off, And like I said, I know that MRB, Jimmy, and all them are not innocent. But I'm just saying, if you want to have a case, it doesn't make sense to do what you're doing. Just saying. And anybody in that community that really believes that she has a huge case that she would win, maybe wants to rethink, really, Natasha? Maybe the thing is that nobody tells Natasha anything in her community. It's like they're all scared of her. I mean, I'm sorry, but I would be like, hey, maybe talk about something else and not MRB, because if you want to have a case, maybe this isn't going to help. But no, because Natasha, what does she do? She just calls out people, and she does it in such an ugly way. It's like, don't tell me what to do. Natasha has this tendency to want to tell everybody what to do and how they should raise their kids and how they should have a healthy relationship and what they shouldn't do and what they should do. She has all this thing, but do you guys notice if you even remotely disagree with her, she gets upset, real angry. And so I think that's why a lot of the community is just follow her. They just agree. They just always have to agree with everything that she says and does. And it's really sad. I would hate to be in a community that way, that I didn't even have a voice to have my own thoughts, to have my own disagreement, to say anything different. You just have to follow like a cult. It's really scary. But I don't know, I just wanted to speak on this because it was just after so many videos, it's just kind of it's just I'm looking and I'm thinking, and she really wants to have a case against MRB as she's screaming her daily. Yeah, that's not really gonna fly in court. You can't act, Natasha, like you're so innocent and then do everything the same thing. It just doesn't make any sense. But I don't know, what are your guys' thoughts? And thank you so much for listening. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Bye.